I'm fishing with my good friend Jim Hudson. We're in Superior, Wisconsin, where the St. Louis River system dumps into Lake Superior.
Yeah, great place to fish, Gary. We got the big lake where we can go chase trophy walleyes. If it's not going on out there, we can come back into St. Louis, and there's many bays in here that we can find some fish too.
Yeah, I love to frog around in systems like this. So why don't you follow us as we get our next bite?
I'm just looking for the next bite. I'm just looking for the next bite. I'm just looking for the next bite. I'm just looking for some fish with teeth. Fish with teeth. Fish with teeth.
Keith Cavallez, Gary Parsons, and Pete Mena live to fish. But certain fish really throw these guys over the edge. Walleye, muskie, northern pike, fish with teeth. Countless days spent on the water have turned these guys into fishing machines with an eagerness to teach people how to catch more fish. So if you are ready to become a better fisherman, join Keith, Pete, and Gary on their quest for the next bite.
I'm just looking for the next bite.
Any chance he can get frogging around on new water is one of Gary Parsons' favorite things to do.
That's a fish right there.
And even though Gary and Jim were marking fish out in the open water of Lake Superior,
It's probably one right there. Definitely one right there.
the walleyes just weren't active, so they decide to focus their full attention on the back bays of the St. Louis River. And although spinners traditionally are used this time of year with great success on the large back bays off of water systems like the Great Lakes,
There's one, Gary.
You got one?
Yep.
Oh, there goes my board, too.
Oh, feels like a good one here, Gary.
Gary's approach is when water temperatures are right and the spinner bite is on, you should also try trolling shallower running crankbaits.
Just let me know when I should take off your board, Jim.
I don't have it's on the flat
Oh,
line.
that's on your flat line.
Yeah,
I'll just
yeah.
let this one hang then.
Because if the walleyes will bite cranks, then you've given yourself the advantage to cover more water faster, which in turn increases your chances of catching more fish.
I thought that was the board. I'm thinking, oh, he sunk the board.
No, it's a good one. Here he comes. Here he comes.
Oh, it's a walleye, Jim.
Yeah.
I saw it. There it is. He T-boned it. He got out of his mouth.
Yeah.
He T-boned it.
T-boned it?
Yeah, when
Yeah,
he came up,
man.
he had it in crossways. It just popped out. That's a
He
nice
fought,
fish.
Fought hard, didn't he?
Yeah?
We sure love those number 4s too, don't they?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, wherever we have shallow water, we've been just crushing fish on those little 4s. It's been a phenomenal bait in anywhere from like 2 to 5 feet of water. And every place we go, we're catching fish with them, so it's pretty cool.
Warm water.
I've got to get some of these lines straightened out here. It's kind of a mess.
Even though their mixed flatline rods and planer board rods setup is catching fish,
It was like a double right when yours bit. This one board faded back, so... And I just only had them part way in.
Another walleye. Look at that. Double.
it's also causing some issues unique to the type of structure present in this shallow basin.
How does he feel, Gary?
He's not real big, but he faded it back like it could be a walleye. Got him?
Yep.
He's not a real big fish. I don't think we're going to need the net from him, Jim.
Okay. Got that other board going out. Another walleye.
Yep. Here.
Like a bass angler.
I can see his hook pretty decent. Yeah, he just kind of popped the board right back. Nice shallow work. Looks like we.
Yeah, I got
over
the.
there, huh?
And suddenly the advantage of being able to troll a little faster with cranks is being usurped by both above and below water hazards, so varied in location and depth.
Ooh, I got a snag. How big is he?
I don't know what it is though. Walleye, good one.
What was it?
Yep. I can hand land them, I think.
Okay, just wait. I got a snag here.
That even with waypoints, it's becoming increasingly difficult to avoid lines from getting hung up, even during reruns of previous passes.
Got him?
Got him.
Wow.
Yeah, T-bone that flicker shad again. Look at that. Both hooks. It's like they were getting snags.
Yeah.
But we're getting snagged on walleyes, which is good.
That's cool. Well, we're getting snagged by everything. Fish,
Yep.
wood,
woods.
How come this time we got 2 snags in the fish, and the last time we were through there, we didn't. Last time we were on our waypoints, we didn't even get any snags at all, just fish. I don't know how that works. You'd think that you'd be snag free the first time, you'd be snag free the second time. We're fishing this big flat, and there's clumps of weeds, there's stick-ups, there's logs on the bottom, and we're trying to cover water. Now, a lot of times when you have seen me before, I talk about flats fishing and you're using planer boards and have everything all spread out to the side. Mathematically, that's the best way to fish. But this is a different situation. It's a situation that comes up a lot. There's enough snags here that boards become tough to use. The water's dirty enough here, and we were getting enough bites right on the side of the boat that instead, I switched tactics. We've got a 4-rod set right here. We're putting them all in the rod holders. We're not letting a lot of line out. What, Jim, 50, 60 feet about, huh?
Yeah, 60 feet
40
max.
sometimes when we're in real shallow, right? But the water's dirty enough and dingy enough that we're catching the fish right underneath the boat. So what I've done, I've switched to the trolling motor. I'm actually controlling and trolling the boat with the trolling motor. We have much more control with the rods right off the side of the boat. If we get a snag, it's easier to turn around, it's easier to clear lines, it just makes the day much more enjoyable. It's deadly effective. I can spin back on these fish much faster this way, I can stay on them, and we can get a lot of bites doing it this way too.
The next bite is presented by Mercury. Amsoil, the first in synthetics. Tracker Boats, fish the finest. Bass Pro Shops, your adventure starts here. Berkeley, catch more fish. One of the greatest advantages to this shallow water crankbait presentation that Gary Parsons and Jim Hudson are using to pattern these late summer walleyes.
Wow.
Yeah, T-bone that flicker shed again. Look at that.
Is that it not only works great here in the St. Louis River system off of Lake Superior, but with similar conditions, it could also work on other systems as well.
I'd like to give you a little bit of an idea of the layout, the structural layout. Why are we fishing in this area? And the one cool thing is, it's not just here. I can think of many systems where we've got waterways that either connect the Great Lakes or dump into the Great Lakes or even back bays on the Great Lakes where this holds true. Lake Muscanaw, a monster lake off the St. Mary's River system, it's just like this. It's a huge lake. It's got mainly 5, 6, 4, 3 feet of water, huge flats, and you could catch tons of big walleyes doing this. A lot of the Great Lakes have this. The key ingredient is dirty water, kind of stained water, and all the different components in the system to make it work.
Yeah, Gary, you know, in these shallow back bays, you know, these walleyes, they really love it because there's a lot of diverse structure in here. You got big sand flats, you got weeds, you got stumps, you got logs, you got everything where their prey can live. You got lots of minnows that come in here, from rock bass to perch to shiners, everything like that. So there's a lot of cover for them, but there's also a lot of cover for the walleyes where they can come in here, ambush their prey. The water temperature is right for them. You know, you got that 70 to 75 degree water temperature here in the summer. So it makes it a great place for the walleyes to come in, ambush them, and feed all day long.
This is a decent one, Jim.
Is it?
Yeah.
All right, I'll get up here.
In fact, I actually just stepped on the trolling motor to stop the boat, so he's going to be right here. Here he comes.
I don't see him yet.
I'm not surprised. This water's so
Oh man,
dingy.
it's murky. Oh yeah. Hey. Oh, there he is. That's a nice one. That's a good one there, Gary.
We changed tactics a little bit, and it's like bam, bam, bam.
Yep.
Wow.
What you learn in different areas sure pays off for other areas that you go to.
Yeah, I mean, this is August, and we're fishing in 3 and 4 and 5 feet of water and catching big, fat fish like this. Off the Great Lakes, these back bays. I mean,
Yeah, most people would never even think these fish are in here.
no, but I've seen this all over the place, Jim. These back bays, real shallow water, starts in June, and a lot of times it'll go all the way into the summer if the waters don't. If the water temperatures get above 80, then they kind of kick out of there. But when they're in the 70s, they're money. Let's let this one go here. Come on, buddy.
He took off like a
Hey,
shot.
he took off. That's
Good
a nice
job.
one. This trolling motor deal is working really good. And you have so much more control over the snags. You know, you get a snag, you can stop it immediately, you can spin the boat around. And these fish don't care. The water's so dingy They're biting right underneath the boat. Now, I've done this before, like up at Brimley and Sault Ste. Marie and some other places where you get this real dirty, shallow water. It's absolutely awesome. It's more fun than trolling with the kicker, too.
Fishing information from real fishing experts. Presented by AMSOIL.
We're here with Len Groom, who is the Technical Products Manager for Power Sports here at AMSOIL. And one of the reasons we're at this location is you're actually here now doing some testing. And I've been working with AMSOIL products for some time and now directly with the company. And I've enjoyed the performance and the protection, actual money saving from using these products. But one thing I've noticed in working with the company is that you guys test. And that's what you're doing here. Tell us a little bit about why you do it.
Anytime we bring a product to market, what will happen, it'll go through a series of testing. It'll be subject to lab tests first. That means we'll build it in the lab, we'll run it through a series of tests there, where after they've passed that, in theory, we could use it. We take it another step further. We actually put it into a field study, or we'll put it into a fleet study.
Okay.
In the case of a fleet study, what'll happen is we'll run a particular product on, let's say, an entire fleet of taxi cabs, if you will, that are going to run around in a city and do all kinds of different types of extreme driving to test the oil. We'll get data off of it, we'll do oil sampling, and we'll look at it and we'll make tweaks or adjustments from there. The other type of testing we can do is actual field testing, where in this particular case, where we're at here right now, we're running durability studies. And this particular engine in the dyno cell here will run hours and hours and hours. We'll take it apart, we'll look at it, we'll analyze it, we'll actually have it rated in some cases. We'll put it back together with a different formulation in it possibly, make some changes to it, we'll run it again over and over and over to be sure that this product is going to hold up in that particular environment where it's going to be used. We'll do the same thing with some of our racers, with you guys, since you're tough on oil with those boats. Anything that we can do to make the product better, stronger, we'll go ahead and do that.
In these shallow water bay areas, historically spinner fishing has been the #1 tactic to catch walleyes, especially right after the spawn. The walleyes move into these backwater bays, the shiners are about to spawn, they're up in the weeds, and they're eating a lot. Spinners pulled over the top of these weeds catch a lot of fish. But what people don't realize is as the water temperature starts to rise, crankbaits are going to catch you more fish. Why? The fish are more active, the water is a lot dirtier, and plus you can cover a lot more water. Put down the trolling motor, throw out 4 or 5 crankbaits, step on the pedal, get going, and you're going to catch a lot more walleyes with crankbaits in the shallow water bays. Yeah, this is a good one, Gary. Well, he's coming right at the boat right now.
I kind of stopped it, so.
Okay. He's right there.
He's right by the motor, Jim.
Hold on. Coming up.
He was coming up.
There he is. Oh, there's a good one.
Nice hitting that, John. You didn't think I had
Good job. I'll get a little slack here.
Oh, I was going against the wind, Jim, so I'm going to get back on the trolling motor so we don't get all tangled up. Because when you said it was a big one, I just kind of took the gas off.
Yeah, that one hammered it. Get him out of the net. Yeah.
We just came off that super shallow spot. It was only 1.5 foot deep and came off. It hit about 3 feet and boom.
Yeah, look at that. T-boned it again. #4 flicker shad.
Yeah, I'm telling you that. Keith and I tested that bait, and I'm convinced it's the best shallow water bait we've got right now.
It's proving it today.
Awesome. This is a blast when they hammered on short lines like this in shallow water. It's awesome.
Yeah, shallow water fish.
Hey, get this, August, and I said it came off of 1.5 feet. When it hit 3 feet, this fish smashed it.
Yeah, that one hammered it. We're gonna get this one back too, Gary.
All right, sounds good, man.
Oh, there he goes.
I'd like to just spend a minute talking about the equipment to do this. It's pretty simple stuff. If you have a smaller boat, you can actually troll around with a little kicker or the small engine. I mean, that's an easy way to do it. It works well. And if the water is dirty enough in this shallow water, you can fish right off the back of the boat and catch quite a few fish. When I have a bigger boat like this, I prefer to use my trolling motor, and I'm actually dragging us along anywhere from 1.4 to 1.7 miles an hour. And I like to use the little flicker shads because they work really well in that slow speed. Plus, they don't dive that deep. You know, I can let out 50, 60 feet of line. They only go down 4 or 5 feet, so you can cover water fast with a bait like this. It's very, very fish catching friendly. So it's a type of bait where you can actually go in and explore fast. Either the fish are going to be there, you'll know because they'll bite. If they're not there, then you move on. I like to use 10-foot rods, 10-foot trolling rods. One of the reasons is because when I set the outside rods in the rod holder, I can get a good spread. Then I'll either use a 10-footer or an 8-footer, 7-footer for my inside rod, and I like to actually stagger it so that it's angled back. That allows me to run 4 rods. And because we have short lines out, we're not getting tangled. So you can actually turn really quick and you can spin and maneuver. And you basically, because the water's dirty, all 4 baits are covering a little bit different parts of the water. Overall, it's very effective, very good technique with a good proper spread, and you're gonna catch a lot of fish.
Leading information on tackle and techniques to make you a better fisherman. Presented by Mercury.
We're here at Mercury Marine, and I'm with Steve Miller, who is the category manager for large engines. And this is a brand new 150 horsepower 4-stroke engine. Now, I'm the kind of guy that kind of likes to do my maintenance at a Mercury dealership. But your studies have found that a lot of people really want to do that themselves, and especially with this size engine. How does this engine make that easier?
Well, this is one of the easiest engines to maintain on the planet, Pete. This new 150 has got an easy no-spill oil change system and a fuel filter you can change in less than 2 minutes. And not only that, the valve train on this engine is maintenance-free for life. It's the only 150 4-stroke with a maintenance-free valve train for life, so you never have to worry about adjusting that. And what's more, we are the only company to put a handy-dandy little maintenance label right there on the side of the electrical cover on the engine. So if you don't happen to have your operator's manual handy, you can reference this maintenance label and it'll tell you the most important maintenance items that need to be done, how often they need to be done, and what you need to do them. And if you're a real newcomer to engines but you still want to try doing your own maintenance, you'll notice there's also a little QR code right there. And if I take my smartphone like this and I scan the QR code, that is going to take you to a dedicated little mobile site just like this with step-by-step videos on how to change your oil and filter, how to change your gear lube, how to change the fuel filters, and even if you need to, how to find your nearest Mercury dealer or even get in touch with Mercury Marine here at the factory.
Years of highly competitive tournament angling may be the underlying reason behind what drives Gary Parsons to always look a pattern in the eye.
This is August, and 4 and 5 feet of water, and catching big fat fish like this.
And to start to examine how to fish it with making the most out of his time on the water, his #1 concern.
Fish. Fishy.
But you don't have to be a tournament angler to understand that time spent catching more than fishing is more fun for everyone.
Oh, you got him.
Yeah, we'll have to bring them on the other side of this rod.
And running flat lines in these warm back shallow bays, trolling flicker shads in place of spinners has not only allowed them to cover more water.
On mouse again.
Yeah.
They now have time left in the day to revisit some waypoints where they marked a few larger fish they caught earlier.
Got him, Gary?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it was right when I was turning.
But also perhaps even help spotlight some colors over others in this dingy water a bit faster.
This time I think we're getting kind of a pattern awareness out here too. I kind of know where they are.
With one of Gary's all-time favorites once again coming out on top.
Roger, I'll try to go over the rod this time, Gary.
Oh, there he is. Oh,
it's fighting. I can't.
All right, here he comes. Oh, that's a nice one,
Yeah, that's
Jimmy.
a nice fish.
Wow.
Came
Ooh,
off.
he popped off
Yep.
too.
On mouse again.
Yeah, actually, there's something about this color, especially in dingy water. I think they can just see it so much better.
Yeah, that white contrast.
Yeah.
Yeah, just leave it in net, Gary. I'll grab the lure. You grab the fish.
Okay. Oh yeah, he's
yeah.
that is a good fish, boy. Nice big fat old belly on them.
What do you think that one goes, Gary?
Oh, I don't know. That's a 22-inch fish probably.
In shallow water, 5 feet of water.
Isn't that something?
Get them back.
There you go, buddy. There he goes.
Take off?
Yeah. It's the one neat thing about shallow water fish. They're strong. I mean, they fight hard and they're really, really strong. Those water temps are what? 77.
Yeah.
And that's almost the perfect temperature. If you can find fish shallow in that type of water temps, they're nuts. They're wild fish.
Oh, I mean, these fish are just creaming it. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Wow.
Big gutted baby, look at that.
Bassmaster. It's typical fish in Gary Parsons' boat.
Oh, wow. What I ever did to get such a lack of respect. I don't know, he's one of the new wave young anglers that, you know, they just want to run over the old guys and talk smart while they're drinking their Red Bull monster drinks. Can't drink coffee like a regular person.
The Next Bite would like to thank Barker's Island Inn Resort and Conference Center of Superior, Wisconsin. Located in Superior's Duluth Superior Harbor, featuring tremendous views and a wide array of the island's best attractions. Escape to the island at barkersislandinn.com.